In this video, I'm going to show you how to calculate the binomial distribution, probabilities using the binomial formula, and how to find the mean, variance, and standard deviation of the binomial probability distribution. Before we dive into the calculations, let's first understand the binomial probability distribution and the conditions required for the experiment to be classified as a binomial experiment. To determine whether a scenario follow a binomial distribution or this example follow a binomial distribution, we need to check if it is meet the these conditions. The first one is the experiment is repeated a set of number of times. In this example, a certain surgical procedure has 85% of success rate, and the doctor performed this procedure on 8 patients. That means the number of trials is 8, and each trial should be independent, meaning the outcomes of the trial does not affect another. In this example, each patient undergoes the procedure independently, so each surgery is unaffected by previous surgeries. And also, each trial must have only 2 outcomes, successful or failure. In this example, a patient's surgery is either successful or unsuccessful. Successful probability is 0.85 here, and unsuccessful probability is here 0.15. The probability of success remains the same for each trial. Since the doctor's skill level remains constant, the success rate for the each patients is 85%. That means this doctor who is conducting this surgical procedure perform unbiasedly. So since all the conditions are satisfied, we can assign to this random variable, which is the number of successful surgeries follow a binomial distribution. Now we are going to calculate the binomial probabilities. In order to do that, and I will create 2 columns, x and probability of x column. So x mean our random variables variable values, and 0 to 8. I type here 0 to 8. Then in order to find the probabilities for each of x values, we can find from the Excel 2 ways. One way is manually, and also using Excel built-in functions. First, let's calculate it manually. So in order to calculate probability of x equals 0, so from this binomial probability formula, in here n is 8. This is I am going to assign the value in for 8, and x is 0, and successful probability is 0.85, and also here x is it's the value of here to find the probability of 0 mean here should be 0, then x value should be 0, and also this probability of failure is 0.15, and here again I will change to the n minus x. 8 minus 0 is 8. Then I will change to the 8. Then this is the probabilities for x equals 0. Then last formulate here. I will type equal sign. We had to get the function to find the 8C0. So that's mean combination. So type the COM, then you will see that combination function is pop up. Then you have to enter the number is here is 8 and comma, and chosen the number means x is 0 and times. So in carefully we have to use the parenthesis, otherwise Excel will mislead in the calculation. So then multiply by 0.85 to the power of 0, then 0.85 to the power of 0 and times, again parenthesis, and 0.815 to the power of 8, 0.15 to the power of 8, and then enter it. So then the next formula, that's my next values for probability of 1, that's mean I can show you to the manually how we can find it. This should be changed to the 1, and here instead of 0 we should find the probability 8C1, in here should be changed to the 1, and also here in minus 6, 8 minus 1 is 7. So then we have to change this x values, and how I do that, I copy and paste. So then I will change these values 0 to 1, this is 1, and 2, here is 8, then we do this 1, this is manual calculation, we do 1, this is 7, then just enter it. So again I will copy this to here, and again I will change, this should be 2 and 2, then 8 minus 2 is 6 here, then just enter it. Again copy this to next, and again we will change this one to 3, and here also 3, and here 8 minus 3 is 5, then just enter it. Again I copy this, yeah, that's change to the 4, and here 4, and 8 minus 4 is 4 too, and copy and paste here. This should be 5, and was number 5, 8 minus 5 is 3, just enter it, and again copy this to here, and change to the 6, and here 6, and here's 8 minus 6 is 2, then just enter it, and copy this formula again to here, and we have to change to the 7, and here 6 to the 7, and 8 minus 7 to 1, and just enter it, and again last value, copy and paste, change to the 8, here 8, and 8 minus 8 is 0, then enter. Now we calculate all the probabilities using the calculation from the Excel manually. Now instead of manually entering the formula, we can find all the probabilities using the Excel built-in function. So you will see that we can calculate all these probability with less time consuming. So let's find these probabilities again using the built-in Excel built-in function. You can find these properties either way. It doesn't matter, but it's I show you because we have two ways, but this way will be easy than the previous method. So then in Excel we have a function binomial distribution. functions to find all these probabilities. I will type here equal binomial and just click the binomial distribution function. Then you have to get the numbers mean in each of the x values. First I will click the 0 and comma, then the number of trials is here 8, and the successful probability comma I will type 0.85, and also the cumulative is false because we are getting the probability mass function probability values, not the cumulative probability values. Then we have to click the false, then close bracket and just enter it. If you see that we get the same, then we can auto generate all other function easily and copy this formula and drag until the last column of the x equal 8. So we see that we generated all the probabilities at once. It took me the few seconds to generate. Now we found each of probabilities. That's mean the binomial probabilities using the binomial formula, binomial function. Now that we have calculated the probabilities, let's find the mean, variance, and standard deviation. Before we go to find this, we have to make sure that this binomial probabilities satisfy the major probability rule. We can see that no any negative values, and also the total of these probabilities should be 1. I will check that it's highlighting all the probabilities and get also auto sum. Then you will set we got the 1. That's mean it satisfied the probability rule. Then we can go this distribution with probability distribution. So in order to find next mean we can directly calculate easily because we know we assign for x random variable as a binomial random variable. So then because of that reason we can find the mean using this equation. Mu equal np. I will formulate it on this reference cell. So n times p, n is here, I will type here n is 8, and n is 8, and also p is 0.85. Then I will formulate here n is 8 times p is 0.85. Then we directly found the mean, and also to find the variance equal n is 8 times p is 0.85 times q is 0.15. Then just enter it. So we found the variance 1.02. In order to find the standard deviation, I will type equal. Standard deviation is the square root of the variance. Then I will type square root function sqr, then double click at the number as the variance. I will click here, just enter it. Then you will see the standard deviations for the random variable, and I can round this value for 2 decimal. Round and comma 2. Just enter it. Then the mean, variance, and standard deviation we calculated from the Excel easily because we recognize the random variable x is following binomial random variable properties. Because of that, we could calculate mean, variance, standard deviation easily. Finally, we calculate the binomial probabilities manually and also using Excel binomial distribution functions. And we calculate the mean, variance, and standard deviation to analyze the doctor expected success rate and also learn how to model the data using the binomial distribution. And this method allows us to quickly analyze binomial distribution for real world examples. Thank you.